Too many people think they fucking know me. Might charge you double when I cop a OZ. Might pop a oxy and I'll fucking OD. Tony.
All right, everybody. It's another beautiful episode of Around the Corner. I, once again, am your host, Ethan Doors.
Z-Dad here.
Z-Dad.
And we got Cardell, also known as...
DJ Savage Habits, y'all.
Also known as Cardeezy, also known as...
Cardell Hart. Cardell No Heart, because he's a savage.
Yeah. That's how we're starting her off.
So, what do you do, Cardell?
I'm a local DJ. I DJ at a bunch of the clubs up here. And I'm trying to get into producing and then throwing EDM shows. That's like the goal eventually. Trying to be an EDM like trap producer. Be the goal eventually.
What songs do you DJ mostly? What genre?
Oh yeah. It's usually like EDM, and then I like when I do my EDM shows over in KC, I do like trap stuff, and then when I do like clubs up here, I'll go from like Mr. Brightside to fucking, Gas Pedal, and then back, it's
some basic college people.
Yeah, everything. The sad college people music.
Do you feel weird having to play a bunch of basic ass bullshit to
I hate it, but it pays the bills, and eventually if you get up to KC, it can really like pay the fucking bills. But yeah, just in general, it's not the most fun. You'll have crazy interactions with just like the most basic women you've ever met in your life.
Do people act like you're the bar sometimes?
Act like the what?
Act like you're the bar. And they like walk up and they're like, can I have one of these?
Yeah. I've never had that, but there is people like, I was playing Mr. Brightside one time and this chick walked up and she's like, can I have Mr. Brightside? And I have to like point to the speakers. Like it's happening right now. I've had somebody, some dude walked in the booth when I was at the cave and grabbed my pizza and started eating it. And then the bodyguard was so confused that like, he thought he was a homie, so he wasn't, like, gonna, like, jump, get him or anything. Just very weird interactions like that. Like, somebody will close your laptop, just walk up, try and, like, spin the decks. Like, the most nonsense shit you've ever heard.
What's the craziest
craziest
thing that you've had happen to you while you're doing a set?
Some dude was staring at me, and he just kind of, like, looked at me, and he was like, what's good? And I'm like... I don't really know what's going on right now, like maybe you're in another dimension or something, and they just kind of kept walking up, and then I had to just like hop on the mic and be like, yo, security, come get this guy. And then he just like kept staring at me. The pizza thing, that one's really good, but just in general, like chicks walking up literally thinking you're doing like nothing and grabbing the like turntable and like just running up and you don't even see it coming, or you're like talking to somebody over here. And then all of a sudden them just fucking touching it and everyone looking at you in the entire bar at once. And you just being like...
Do people stare at you all the time while you're just like sitting there and you're just like...
Yeah, especially at the beginning of the night, like when it's coming up to like 10 o'clock. Like I'm just kind of playing the song and then kind of waiting for the next one. When it gets to like 10 to like 2, then it's really like I'm really like doing a bunch of shit and then dealing with a bunch of people and it starts getting like super fun. But until that time, it's just really, like, just kind of building it up, and you're just kind of, like, just chilling there, kind of waiting. And you're playing to, like, 3 people. Nobody, like, nobody's fucking there.
So what does being a DJ mean to you? Because I hear, I'm a DJ, I have a playlist on my iPod kind of thing, right? So what is it to you?
Like, well, so if you start out, I think legitimately, like, anybody could learn how to DJ in a little bit of time, but I think... like the networking side of it, and then just like actually like I think scratching, I think that's the real like if you can scratch or to any kind of point, I think that's the real like okay, you're like a certified, you can actually DJ. And then just besides that, like there is guys that work for our company and they literally just play like the basic white shit and just throw a song like switch and forth. But then once you get to a certain point, like dealing with like the BPMs and like working actually in keys. So the transition is so seamless that you're just like good to go. And then nobody really knows that the song's switching.
And you said your company. What's your company?
So I work for Nick Riddell Productions. I don't know how long I'm going to be working for him, but that's the kind of company that runs most of Lawrence, like the club scene.
So they book all the like Brothers and Cave and all that.
Yeah, I think he does the Cave, the Wheel, and then they did Tonic, like the main ones. Yeah.
R.I.P. Tonic's the best one.
Brothers is sweet though. Yeah, Brothers, they're just kind of, they have like one guy that they've used forever, and then they kind of pick up like random guys on like a Thursday. But
do you have a favorite venue that you like to perform at?
I love the Cave.
Yeah.
Like Yeah, bottom of my heart. The people there, they're all awesome. I have like my own private elevator I ride down. They give me like a tab, so I get like free, and it's dollar night every Friday. I was DJing, so that's like
You're just getting sloppy.
everyone's trashed. Yeah, everyone's walking up to with tequila shots the whole night, and then they have like a full LED wall, and then they put my logo up. So it just makes me feel cool, you know.
Makes you feel really professional.
Yeah, like you're doing some shit.
As if you're not already pretty fucking professional.
Yeah.
Got shows at the Roxy all the fucking time. How did that get started? How did you get such a good relationship with the Roxy?
So me and a homie, shout out DJ Acrylic. Me and a homie, we kind of during COVID, we were already kind of talking about doing like EDM stuff, but we didn't really know how we were gonna like go about it. So we started going, and we were just kind of looking for any kind of venue that was open. The Roxy. They've just been doing their thing and just staying open during COVID.
Honestly,
so,
dude.
Not the best way to go about it, but
They're gonna hit those fines and sue the state.
Yeah. They're actually closing. So they're closing. They had their last show like really recently, but we did. We just kind of got like I kind of knew just from being in the industry, like knowing like you have to like we paid all the artists that we got on that show, so we got like the best artists in KC, literally the best. Like we got 6 of the best DJs that they have. Like for EDM in KC and then the following, and we were just like, we're gonna throw one good show, and then eventually hopefully like we can put on other artists and then keep doing those shows. But yeah, we had it was 250 people at the Roxy, which is like I've done shows there on a Sunday with like 2 people.
Yeah.
And literally I'm just kind of standing there doing nothing. It's pretty sad, but that was a really fun like awesome experience. And then just like putting the actual money in, like we spent close to like $1,000 just getting that show, like the booking and then the artists and just like the lighting and whatever we needed to. And we're just like, we're going to take a risk and hopefully this shit works out.
So do you plan on making that like a more self-sufficient thing where you and DJ Academics or wait, what was his
DJ
name?
Acrylic.
Acrylic.
Yeah.
Like,
Academics.
DJ Acrylic start putting up shows together and like become like a
we're trying to do a show a month. We don't want to, because there's some EDM people like the production companies in KC that'll do a show like every weekend, and I feel like that's super cool. Like a lot of people just need somewhere to go and get like a release from the natural world. Completely understand that, but I think we want to do one like just banging show a month, and then eventually maybe when we get to a certain point we can have other DJs, like professional DJs, like traveling DJs. We can try and put on and pay for them to come out, and then just do more shows like that. But
So how'd you get started DJing? What made you want to pursue that career?
this is a great story right here. Get ready, everybody. I started out, I used to go to church. Believe it or not, your boy was. So my first gig.
That's where I met you.
Yeah. I threw on I basically made this mix through my video editing software, and I stood up on stage and like just jumped around. That was like my first like initial thing that I did, and in those transitions, you're just kind of standing up there trying to keep everybody hype, and you have to wait like 30 more seconds for the drop to come. So everyone's kind of dying down, and I'm just standing there like, I think we're getting there. Have
you ever missed a drop?
Yeah, no, 100%. Like DJs legitimately, like if you're in Lawrence and there's so much shit going on, like you're dealing with people coming up to you and asking for requests, and like dealing with you could have like the bar manager telling you like, hey, we need less hip hop, we need more of this, and there's a lot of shit. Like I wish I could just at those EDM gigs I can just play whatever the fuck I want to play, and I kind of know it's gonna work and it's all like lined up. But at the club gigs, it's like, hope this shit works out. And I've accidentally like, so you basically load tracks on each song, like each deck, and I've loaded a track on like the deck that was playing.
So
like,
it literally stops immediately,
and then it goes to the other song. But there's like usually there's an instrumental that goes into the song. So yeah, usually like when you're DJing, there's 8 bars of an instrumental or 9 bars where it builds in. So you have the instrumental going, and then you switch right into like the verse. But then if you don't have anything going in between, you're literally just hearing an instrumental for like 8 bars. So I had to like move the track really quick and try and speed up to like the music so that it just wasn't like people like you listen to like house music but there's nothing going on, but it's not house, it's like really slow tempo because it'd be like hip hop.
Ooh, that's awkward.
Yeah, but that shit happens. And then like one time I was DJing at the Hawk, the power went out, and then I don't know,
At
like,
least that's not your fault.
But you guys saw the lights go off, but instead all the people all at once they go, and you just see like 100 eyes just staring at you at once, and I just want to like just duck below the DJ table, like they don't fucking know me. Like, no, it wasn't me, guys.
Have you ever had anything thrown at you?
Shit, that's a good question. Not. I think on New Year's one time they started spraying bottles, and I was really scared of. Like, I have like $1,000 gear, like more than like the shit's really expensive in the booth, and like the speaker system, they have like the amp there too, so that's like however much that fucking costs. I have no clue, but yeah, definitely like people spraying shit or like I've done frat parties and people have done shit like that, but no, people most of the time like if you throw some shit at the DJ, you're getting kicked out. So I think they want to have like a good, majority of the time night,
So you said you do like house shows. Do you do those often?
Like at some houses or like
as a ratio of like actual clubs to like.
Not anymore. Yeah, I used to like in the beginning. I've DJed fucking literally everywhere. Like an anniversary, I've DJed. Like the Hippo House back in the day with like 10 people sitting in like the kitchen and talking, and then I'm DJing to literally nobody. But still super fun. Like eventually at the end of the night they'd be awesome. But I'm trying to think of other. Yeah, we DJed in Steven's garage. Like for that, he had that pop up, which was super fun. It was kind of hot. It was a hot ass day.
You ever do like weddings?
Yeah, I've done 2 weddings. Not my. I feel like you have to know the music for certain DJing things, like the white people shit. It took me a while to get in tune with that, like knowing what the fuck. Yeah, Country Roads, like Mr. Brightside, that shit that I know nothing about. Like weddings is the same shit. Like I don't know Ed Sheeran's, fucking whatever track.
Dude, you gotta check your own culture, bro.
Yeah, I know, but that's not it. Like the wedding culture is not the. But yeah, I'm figuring out the vibe, and I'm still kind of trying to figure out where I'm gonna move with things, like DJing wise.
What do you mean? Like where you plan on going with stuff?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna take the club route, or eventually if I become like a washed up wedding DJ at like 36 or like 40. That's also a possibility, but it still pays well.
True.
Like all DJing pays pretty good.
You consider that kind of like selling out, just settling as far as just booking weddings and stuff like that?
A lot of those guys, like I went to Maselli's and they didn't even have a table for us to set up on. Like apparently all those wedding DJs, they literally just set up their computer, have like a Spotify, and then they just know what like the people need. And I was like, what? Like y'all literally don't have like people using turntables or controllers or whatever. It's very lost. But I think if those DJs are going around saying like I'm the dopest DJ around, but if they say like I'm a wedding DJ and it's just to pay my bills, you're good in my book. Like you got to do what you got to do. If it's better than working, fucking 9 to 5 at McDonald's or whatever, you're good.
So don't hate on the hustle. Just don't hate on the hustle.
Yeah.
So how do you know when to hop on the mic and when to let your voice be heard?
That is a good. At certain bars, they don't want you to talk on the microphone at all. So the Hawk, they've yelled at me a couple times, but I genuinely feel like if you're shouting out someone's birthday or like saying like get your hands up or something, I think that ups the vibe. If it's like kind of down, and then you can get somebody to, you want to keep that vibe going the whole night so everyone buys drinks and it keeps the party going. However the fuck you got to do it, but.
Have you ever tried to hype people up and it hasn't worked? Like.
Oh yeah, like my last EDM show, I was like, how my ladies doing, and then it was just. Complete.
So you know how they're doing.
Yeah, and then I was like, how my dudes doing? Fuck the ladies. And the dudes were like, yeah. So and then the ladies were like, well, can we get another chance? But no. Sorry, yo.
So have you said that you've seen people like twerk and stuff. Have you seen people get freaky?
Like at the honk?
Like people getting aggressive.
Like really about it,
Be careful. They might be talking about some underage, so.
Yeah, no.
I mean at the honk.
Fuck the honk. But I don't. Yeah, I think. I don't know. Usually it's just I see like a big crowd of people. I don't have enough time to like really like look at individual things. But I've definitely seen people slap to like 9 o'clock when there's 2 people at the bar. Oh, actually, when I worked at Quinn's one time, I saw this dude pick up a chick and he had her legs like above his fucking head, and he was like holding her against the wall, and it was like 9:30. Like the whole bar's like starting their first drink off. They're kind of like warming up, talking. And this is Quinn's. Like I'd have like a night where there'd be like 20 people, and I'd be like, oh my god.
Dude, I feel like
Quinn's just 20 people here.
Quinn's chill. Quinn is supposed to be chill.
It was good, but they're for a DJ. Like now I'm going to DJing like the Hawk, and it's packed out the door by like 10 o'clock. They might not be giving a fuck about me or happening or whatever, but it is packed, and there's a bunch of crowd there, and some people care, some people don't, but.
So do you care about if people even like pay attention to you, or is that kind of like the whole thing is if people are bouncing and vibing, it doesn't even fucking matter who's.
I think when you get to eventually like they'll come up to you, like people come up to me and they're like, oh my god, like I liked your mix, or at the end of the night they'll be like, your shit was terrible. But that's how you got to figure out as a DJ. You'll figure out like you can't please everybody in the bar. Like if I'm playing the Cave and it's majority EDM, there's a dude that's only hip hop, only, you know, whatever, and he's not gonna he's not gonna like that shit. Even if I could throw in a super hip hop track, he might fucking hate the whole rest of the night, so it didn't matter. And I like to go back and forth, so I like hip hop a lot. So I usually do like hip hop, a bootleg of hip hop, so it'll be like hip hop mixed with an EDM drop, and then you get kind of best of both worlds. But some people, they don't give a fuck, even if you throw in that like hip hop, they just don't want you to fuck with the tracks.
They want the OG.
But I've had, I got done with the gig at the Hawk, and this chick outside was like, that DJ was fucking terrible. He didn't even play Blueface. And then you're like, if that's what signifies me being a good DJ, then I'm fucking terrible, you know? Like, that is not what you know.
Because you're like, well, if you listen to Blueface, maybe it's not the fucking vibe.
Yeah, that's not the vibe for the Hawk. Like, if I'm playing a hip-hop bar, maybe. But just come up and ask for Blueface. Maybe I can help you out.
Exactly.
But
take requests. $2 a request.
So how much of your time do you feel like is spent trying to discover new music?
When I was doing clubs, so we basically, like, DJs have this thing called a record pool, and you can go and download like extra. They're basically like edited tracks. So they have that instrumental at the beginning, so then you can blend the songs perfectly. And that, like, when everything was popping before Corona, like now, you know, people are only dropping so much music, so there's only so much shit to get. But before, like, there was, you know, an album dropping fucking every week from whatever artist, so you have to go and they'll have kind of like the top 10 in each genre, so you can go and be like, okay, this is what's going to be popping like in 2 weeks in the hip-hop section, and then kind of go get that, and then they'll kind of tell you like the most downloaded tracks on the site too, so you know, like, okay, this is, you know, kind of what's popping at the time, which definitely helps. But I'll still like dig in there and be like, what's the new, like, whatever, so I have something that other DJs don't fucking have.
How do they know what's popping? How do they know what's going to be popping in 2 weeks? How do they fucking know?
It's kind of like most downloaded on Spotify, so it could just be the most popular, but if it's most downloaded by, like, you know, 10,000 DJs or whatever, then obviously it's, you know, it's got to be something decent.
Right. And if fucking, like, Cole has a fucking video with him, then...
Yeah, Cole Bennett, yeah. I met him, if you guys did not know. He's super nice. He was, like, one of the nicest celebrity people I've ever met.
And you met Juice WRLD, right?
No, I met Smoke Pro, Lil Mosey, and Cole Bennett, and I met the Baby. Yeah, that's like a super crazy story.
Yeah, where'd you meet them at?
So I went to South by Southwest when I was DJing. I was DJing for rappers for a while, and then trying to follow that like career and seeing how it went. And so just down there, like, you can meet like all the artists are just down there. Like, they might just be walking on the street or with their homies. Or I went outside of like a Cole Bennett show, like a Lyrical Lemonade show, and his homie, Duffelbag Guru, he got kicked out of the venue. I don't know what the fuck he did or what happened. So I'm out there like, bro, what the fuck are you doing out here? He's wearing like a $5,000 Palace or like I think it was a Go-Yard bag. And I'm like, what are you doing out here? Sonny Digital's chilling out there. Just chilling. Right next to me, hanging out, and I didn't even know it was him. And then someone was like, bro, I think that's Sonny Digital. And you don't know like how people really look until you like, people look a lot different in person than they do over edited Instagram shit. So, right. But yeah, and then so Cole Bennett came up to the fence, and he's trying to get his homie back in the venue, and I'm there like talking to the homie, and I'm like telling the security guard like, no, this is like the fucking guy, like this is Cole Bennett's best friend. He's throwing this fucking event, like you need to get him back in. And then Cole Bennett shows up, and then he's talking to me for a minute. And it was just crazy just being in that, like, and just realizing they're real people.
Right.
Just, like, and you can meet them anywhere. And they're, like, most of them are really cool. Like, when you get to a certain level, then there's no real, like, you don't really need to be competing with anybody because you're already, like, you have your huge fucking fan base. When you're local, I feel like you're competing with so many fucking people that you can't really be cool to everybody, you know?
Do you feel that as a DJ you can't be cool with all of the local DJs that's trying to come
like,
up?
do you have haters and shit?
I think it's definitely a very competitive world. Even if you're playing like, these aren't my fucking tracks, I didn't make these tracks, I completely understand that. But if you're a certain level of like how you know how to mix, or how, like, I'm out of the bars every fucking weekend or every other weekend networking and trying to get the next gig or whatever. In the KC scene, it's like, especially because of COVID right now, every DJ wants every gig they can possibly get because it's paying their bills, and they're off for like, 6 months or whatever. So they're not sharing any gigs. You can't even open for them, like whatever. So I'm kind of just waiting my time for that. But eventually that'd be the move. But definitely there is a whole lot of competition. And maybe they're hating behind my back. I think in general, though, I think most of them are really nice. And in the EDM scene, which is what I've been kind of going into, those people are all amazing and they all want to support everybody. And it's always just a big vibe. Like, they're all great people, and a lot of them, it seems like they've been through a bunch of shit and they're just trying to find an outlet, and just like, a lot of them don't even care about money for playing. They just want to like just be with their homies and vibe.
So
have a good time.
Does KC/Lawrence have a relatively big EDM scene?
Lawrence does not. I don't think there's anything at all in Lawrence. Me and Acrylic, I think eventually that's the vibe. I think we're trying to take over like do the Bottleneck, and then I think we want to do the Granada, and do stuff like that and try and book some bigger artists. But the EDM scene in KC is like crazy. Like, they have an insane following, and just people that just want to have a good time, take acid or Molly or whatever, and fucking party.
So as someone who creates sets based upon that, are you out there a lot of EDM?
Oh yeah, 100%. Because now, well, yeah, I'm probably out there more. I kind of go wherever I think will help me, and I will have a good time. Like, sometimes I'll pop out to a hip hop show just to support, a homie that's DJing or whatever. But then I'll also go to the EDM gigs because I know I can try and talk to the production company, or like go to the bars, talk to the bar owners, and then just try and, it's just getting yourself out there and trying to progress.
So do you go to the festivals and try to...
That's like, you can't really talk to anybody, but you have to have like a VIP band and shit like that. But I do go to festivals. I'm in a Bonnaroo, and then I went to Dance Fest.
So do you try to like talk to people, or like? I
try and network with people, but you can't network with like the people that own they're somewhere in a VIP tent, right, nowhere near anybody that you can't get to.
Yeah.
Maybe one day I'll be back there, but it's gonna take some time.
Just gotta go to those places and just sticker slap everything.
Yeah. But just 100%, just keep pushing and networking and just keeping out there. Like, I believe you can't keep progressing if you're just sitting at home and just kind of waiting for your track to blow up or whatever.
Right.
So do you see yourself there when you go to those types of sets? Do you see yourself on stage kind of thing, or do you see yourself surpassing that and going to something bigger?
I think, when I my dream thing would definitely be like playing festivals and touring. And I think I need to produce. That's like the biggest. You need to be a producer. Even if you're not a great producer, there's a lot of producers that just, if you do it long enough and you keep doing shit, I think you do need to be a great producer to be like really, really good. But if you're opening on like a side stage, I saw some people playing at like 2 that were just like not like, it was not good.
Did you feel like you were more talented as an actual DJ?
And there was nobody there. Like, this guy, I met him in line. He's like, bro, I'm playing side stage tomorrow. Come at 2. And then I showed up. I was like, okay, trying to support the homies, whatever. And I'm the only person there in like,
Weird.
It's this huge like giant thing. It was also like, it's probably really hot, so people didn't want to come out at fucking 2 p.m. and go see some
But still, that dude's fucking making money, right?
Yeah. But it's just I think the biggest thing is networking and getting your stuff out there. Like, the best KC DJs, they aren't the best like skilled DJs. They're the best people at networking.
Oh.
Like, I think there's DJs in KC that are better than some of the other ones, but they're just really good at networking. So they like, either they've known the guy for fucking 10 years, so they're gonna play that bar, other than the guy that's like amazingly fucking good, but he's been in the scene for like a year, So
you have to be an alcoholic and go to all these bars and fucking
just sit there and drink your sorrows away and try and network.
Fucking talk to the manager who's.
Do you do any sets like heavily influenced under drugs or anything, or does everyone try to be completely sober?
Yeah, I'm gonna fuck it. We'll go for it. But I tried one like, what do you call it, like a Facebook live stream. I tried one of those on Molly, and like by like 30 minutes in, I was like, I think I need to sit down. And I was like a little.
Did you feel like you were vibing by yourself, like, really heavy?
Yeah, I was like, damn, it's getting kind of hot in here. I'm kind of like, I might need to get off this. But the other gigs, like, most of the time I feel like I'm very like, the EDM gigs especially, I work like a month on those fucking gigs, and then like putting that whole set together, making sure the keys are in place, making sure I know where to scratch, where to like throw everything in, and then kind of where to talk at each like drop, like you were saying. And then there's the other, like the club gigs. You can't really be prepared. You're just kind of like, I hope this goes well.
So you said that you
Shit
like
happens the whole night.
You said that you prepare for like a month
The
before
EDM
to
gigs,
like prepare for like when to scratch and shit like that. Do you think people like just record all that shit and just hit play and then make it look like they're doing it?
There is DJs that do that, but like I'm gonna try and side with them because they also produced all their own stuff. So if they don't know how to DJ, but they are like an amazing producer, it's like I can only kind of be against them so much because I'm
like lip syncing.
You know, like I could be a great DJ, but I don't know how the fuck to produce.
Oh, okay.
So it's like they're doing that side of things, and I'm doing, my side of things.
They're technically lip syncing to their own shit.
Yeah.
I haven't
In
really
a way.
like mostly live. I haven't really seen. I don't think I've seen a DJ do that, but they do have like they might have a section of it edited, so they have it like perfectly. They put it through the software, and they have like 4 different songs in a row. But then they'll switch to the next song. So they're still DJing, but there's like a little bit like you didn't DJ these past like 4 songs, but then you'll mix it into.
No one's
whatever
literally
else.
going on not SoundCloud, like one of these fucking apps and just making
click and play.
making a
Yeah.
5-hour mix
Yeah,
of
yeah.
like
They're not doing that. I haven't seen that at least, but maybe like some of the bigger DJs, a lot of those guys, if you're at like a festival, you're more paying for the experience and paying for their music. So I don't really, a lot of those DJs, like some people say like they might really not be doing it, but you're paying for their visuals to be completely lined up with the track and you just want to, party. But I do really take the DJing part of it serious and knowing like the scratching and like mixing in key and the BPMs and making it just sound like very fluid.
Do you have any like big influences as far as DJ goes?
100%. I like Flosstradamus a lot. RL Grime is a huge influence of mine. Just any kind of trap DJs. I think the trap is the best. Like, I've been to EDM gigs where they just DJ and then it's just like, wah, 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 for like, their whole set for like an hour and a half. You don't hear any lyrics, nothing. You're just kind of like there, just kind of getting through it. But I like some shit you can sing to, and then you can have the craziest fucking drop you want if you have something you can vibe to in there. Like, so it's not just like, as people would fucking say, sounds for like an hour and a half and nothing what's
Right.
going on.
Do you recall what was the first concert, venue that you went to that you were like, oh, this guy is the real deal?
Shit, that's a good one.
The first DJ set I've ever seen was RL Grime back in.
Dude, I literally think he's like one of the
2015
best
at the
DJs
Granada.
in the world.
Yeah, I mean he kept me hyped for sure. I mean I was definitely on Molly, but that's a whole nother story. So
Yeah. No, that's, yeah. I saw, when I was at Bonnaroo, I think this was my first set rolling also. I tried to roll another time, and there's a weird story with that. We can get into it in a little bit. But that was my first time rolling, and it was Nightmare, and then right after RL Grime. And that's like, after a while, I kind of figured out kind of what genre I like. But when you're starting in the EDM scene, like, I have no fucking, like, I could go to a house set and be like, this is cool. But then you see what you actually are, like, really like RL Grime and Nightmare, or like Boombox Cartel and shit like that. And you're like, this is literally just perfect. Like, the most, serotonin ever in my fucking brain. Like, the coolest set I've ever seen.
So do you create your own light patterns?
I've done you can get VJ loops online, and I do have on my YouTube page a thing that I put together, which is basically just mixing the VJ loops and then adding like effects to it and kind of getting my logo up there. But most of the DJs in the club, they just already have VJ loops.
What's VJ? Because
It's called
something completely different in my brand.
Yeah. So video DJing, it's like the people running like the light shows basically.
Okay.
But they have a bunch of like, they could be like a 5-second, 10-second loops of things, and then they kind of keep playing.
So it's like a kaleidoscope show of lights, and you can like
They switch
edit them and shit.
different videos, and then there's usually like a guy running the whole light system, and then there's usually a whole guy running like the actual like throwing up the loops and stuff.
So do you meet with them in advance to the show?
I think a lot of the big DJs, I'm not to that point yet,
Yeah.
but a lot of the big DJs, they have their own VJ. They run through their set like months before their shit and get every like different drop timed up and everything like that. And then a bunch of the guys in KC, usually the traveling ones, like if you can't bring your own guy, they literally just have like a USB full of like their videos. So then they still run their loops and they switch them like when the drops are, but it's still their loops,
right,
and their video stuff.
They're kind of stock shit that
Yeah.
they have for.
Some of them, like a lot of, when you get to a certain point, you can make that shit, but a lot of those videos cost, like, just to make a 5-second video that has like some crazy whatever on it, it could cost like $5K.
Jesus.
Yeah, but once you get to, like, when you're a traveling DJ, they all have like shit. They had some crazy dude making a lab, somewhere.
Some
It's a beast.
crazy
Yeah.
fucking special effects crap to
Yeah.
make it work. That's wild. So you also like do videos for people, or at least you used to.
Yeah.
How did you get started doing that? Why did you start making videos?
I absolutely loved making videos, and then I just love movies in general, so I kind of wanted to like figure out how that was and how that scene was, and then I started taking film class. So I was like, this is gonna be my first step with some like beat up $80 camera that looked like the worst thing you've ever seen in your life, like 480 pixels or something, like a flip phone. Basically, you're filming on a flip phone, and then you like slowly progress. And then I got my own camera, and then you get the software, and then just in general, like any kind of profession. I think that you can do, just learning, like just YouTube tutorial after YouTube tutorial, and just figuring out like different effects, and just like just progressing, and just really like diving deep into whatever the fuck you're doing.
So how has iPhones came a long way, especially focusing on the camera aspect. How has that changed your equipment? Do you just strictly move along with an iPhone, or is there something?
I have like a 4K camera, but I usually just shoot it in 1080p, because most people think like every rapper's like, put my shit in 4K, but then you figure out like most people's phones, they only run 1080p. Your TV, most of them, they only run 1080p. And if you have a 4K TV and you're using an Xbox, it's still 1080p because of the thing that's like running it to the TV. Like if you pump in a 1080p disc, it's still gonna be 1080p even if it's on a 4K TV.
Damn.
Which a lot of people don't think about. Even dealing with a 1080p video, if it's like a 4-minute video on YouTube, it still takes like 4 hours to upload, or like 3 hours.
It's ridiculous.
Especially if it has crazy ass effects on it, and you don't have like the craziest PC gaming setup in the world.
Oh, so that's what the problem was, is that there was all those cuts. That's probably what the problem was. Yeah, there's so many cuts cutting from us to the cowboy corner.
Yeah, the more you edit it, the more like, if you're adding like, I was adding like green screening effects, like fly through effects, like you can edit people's clothes. Like you can kind of like I could color code like a black t-shirt, take out all the black, and basically make it like a green screen, and then you can like fly through it with the video. I love those effects. Those are super sweet.
And all that shit just makes it a ginormous file.
Yeah. If you look at somebody's like edited thing, it's like this long, and then there's like, it looks like a huge waveform of like 30,000 fucking clips, and then they're all edited, and especially music videos, that shit's crazy.
Do you have a specific software that you edit video footage on?
All the video people are gonna fucking hate me because they use Premiere Pro. I use Final Cut. I think if you get any kind of software to that level, it's still a $500 software. Like, it's still an expensive software.
Do you torrent it though, or do you actually buy it?
I had a homie that bought it, so it is bought, but I did not buy it. I didn't have that money at the time.
Say.
Yeah, but if you get in tune with any kind of software you're using, like also producers, if you're using FL or Ableton or Logic, whatever, I feel like if you get so in tune with your software, you know where everything's at. You can all make the same videos or music. Everybody makes different music, obviously, but you know what I mean.
If it comes out the same, it's fucking doesn't matter.
But people were hating hella, and then they'd give me this like, they'd show me this busted ass video that they made. They're like, oh yeah, I made this on Premiere Pro, but Final Cut's trash.
As long as it's good.
It's just like a statement kind of thing.
So it's like the same way people are like Apple whores.
Yeah.
It's like you have to use fucking Apple or else it's not good. Even though
Android's not that great though, but you know what I mean. Nah.
I mean,
but if they all take the same video, yeah, you know what I mean.
I mean, if you want to talk, at the newest iPhone,
I also have a
only does
busted up
4K.
iPhone. No, I have a busted up iPhone too. Mine isn't even that good, people. So I can't hate too much.
We say that all shot on iPhone.
Yeah.
Everything shot on Apple. So do you have any shows coming up? Do you have anything planned?
I'm booking a Savage Habits and Friends show right now, which is going to be for my birthday in May, and I'm trying to get like basically all the fucking homies on, and we're doing it at Empire. We kind of took a downgrade on the venue just because it's Empire, but we wanted to have it in Lawrence so everyone didn't have to drive like an hour and a half to the coolest venue wherever, you know.
Dude, I'm mad. It's
Yeah, dude.
Empire's my spot, bro.
Yeah, it'll be,
Hey,
then
don't blow-
you can
don't blow it up.
vibe on with Pool, and then
Don't
it's
blow
just a
it
weird
up.
spot for an EDM show. Like, there's
for
no
sure. It
stage,
is
and the
definitely,
side.
low key crowd. You
Yeah.
know, it's not definitely not as popping as Leroy's is, and that's why I like it.
But you gotta do what you fucking gotta do.
Yeah, but it just
Yeah,
made
we-
sense for us. And the Roxy just closed, so we're trying to figure out our venue. Whenever Lawrence opens up, we'll probably do the Bottleneck like a lot more.
So COVID's really been fucking you. You're just waiting for shit to open up
Yeah.
right now.
Well, we had 2 gigs. It was the Roxy closing. I think that fucked us because we would have had another gig. I think we were trying to do a show there every month and then promote it. And I also had no clue how much money is in that, like promoting shows, because you still have to put a lot of money in. Like I was saying, we put a ton of money in, but you make, like, if you think about it, it's $15 a person, and we had 250 people there. We don't need to do the math, but a lot more money than I'm making at Sonic.
So what? Savage Havish. What made you come up with that one?
I don't have. Yeah, there's no like really great story. Everyone asks me this, and I feel bad because there's no like this is what it was. But I think I'm very straight up with people, and I just kind of tell them how it is, and I don't hide anything back. So that's kind of like the savage parts. But I'm not like super crazy into that. So it's just kind of like habits that I have. And then also I just like to be like, it's super high energy during a lot of my EDM sets, or during like most of my club sets are mostly like high energy, and I'm like feeling the vibe the whole time and trying to like read off the crowd and keep the vibe up the entire time, you know?
Are you worried at all that you're gonna get canceled for the word savage?
Yeah, I think that it could definitely happen down the road.
Is that
and I
something
want to
you
eventually
honestly, like?
I've thought about it 100%. Yeah.
Is that even
It's
a
like-
thing?
No, I mean, yeah.
I think
know
you
the
can
word
cancel it
savage
over
is-
fucking anything, but yeah,
but
that
they relate that to Native Americans, you know.
I
as
think that's
colonists.
more on them for
But do
taking
you-
the word that just means something crazy and
I think
applying
If
it
you
to
make
you're
it to
the
that
racist.
level, you're like, oh, like
I'm definitely
set
a little
now.
worried about it, but I don't think at this point, I don't think it'd be easy to switch my name, because I've seen so many DJs try and switch their name, and then half the people view them as one name, and then the other half views them as the other name, and then they're trying to like, you're trying to network with both, you know, kind of parties. But I'd like to, you know, like send donations or kind of whatever I can do to make it a little bit more even, you know, like help out a little bit, because I did take the name, and I made this shit when I was fucking like 18 or 19 as an ignorant fucking, you know, kid. Like, I don't, you know, but I'd like to give back or help out in any way I can for that.
Oh, dude, I didn't even think about it, but we do live in Lawrence, and there's Haskell right there.
Yeah.
Has anybody
yeah,
ever
they
come up
have.
to you about it?
No, not yet, but my girlfriend brings it up a lot, so yeah. That's like I think about it, and I know it's a thing, and I hope I can eventually, you know, kind of do something to give back, but I can't really, you know, fucking change it at this point.
Well, it might be my white privilege, but I
Yeah.
think that's ridiculous to use a word that
If
had
it's like
nothing to do with it
Fucking
previous.
canceled,
It
bro.
is
Good.
it's a little bit of a derogatory term, and I think that it does relate, so I think they definitely, if they want to be mad at me, I completely understand, and I'd like to talk to you and kind of voice, you know, I was a fucking kid when I made it.
Right.
I'm not, you know, dumbass kid.
Have them talk to me, and I'll do all the
Yeah.
avoiding for
They might hate your guts. Take him. Take
Yeah,
him.
bro.
So
I'd
what's
be
worse,
like, yo.
do you think the name, or you constantly shouting out that, you know, the N word?
Oh, no. I did not do this. This is not a thing.
I was just joking.
I did not say the N-word.
I'm joking.
Not even once.
Not even once. Yeah. I'm around
Okay.
around too many crowds of people that I don't know. I've seen people like white dudes say that shit like at the bowling alley, and I'm like, oh my god, like I'm not backing you up. If somebody beats your ass, dog, that's on you. Sorry,
I feel
man.
like the bowling alleys. That's
Kinda
some
cracking,
prime. That's some-
cracking.
That's some prime location for some white people saying
but
the N word.
yeah, I don't think it's not good.
Wayne and Larry's.
Yeah. Dude, people be popping sometimes at the bowling alley. Back in the day, I don't know anymore how it is, but
No, for sure. And of course, I'm just
Yeah.
joking around.
I did not
with you,
say
and
that,
everyone,
everybody.
everyone know I'm just joking
Yeah,
around
yeah.
with him. This is the
So other than DJing and making videos and trying to network and side hustle your fucking way into stardom,
everything, yeah.
what do you do? How do you unwind?
I'm working at Sonic. That definitely does not help me unwind, but it pays some bills. I think I like to go. You know, I honestly love, like, when COVID hit, I was kind of fucked because I'm a super social person. I like to just fucking talk all the time and get it out, and then just talk to random people and have their experiences, and just hearing, like, kind of what, you know, some random dude at 2 o'clock you're at the bar with has been through, or whatever he's, you know, just meeting random people. Sometimes it doesn't go well, but Most of the time it does.
What's the worst altercation that you can remember?
Oh fuck, man.
Like,
When
you
I was
ever fought
DJing.
anybody?
Oh yeah, I got So after the Hawk, I was just there to party and check out a gig or something. I'm gonna tell the story exactly how it went down, so there won't be any like my side of me trying to be cool or whatever.
Yeah, so you can
So I went.
fast
Yeah. That's
it,
where we're
you
going.
lost.
That's where we're going. So I was at the wheel like getting pizza, and these two guys that I knew, I was trying to like break it up, and then somehow the dude thought that I was like on his side or something, and then this dude pushed me out of my shoe. Like, and then he grabbed my shoe and he's running at me with my own shoe outside of this bar.
So wait,
And
so
I'm
were
like,
you running
"Give me
away
my shoe
while
back."
it was one shoe?
Well, I was like, I was trying to like, I don't know. You don't realize like how, I don't know. I'm fucking, 5'2" or whatever. I'm not 5'2", but really fucking small. And for me to try and break up these dudes, like I kind of looked up to this dude, and then all of a sudden he launched me and I flew out of the door. Like, and I've
You
been
had to pay cover again.
yeah. Those situations you get in, you don't really understand how strong like people are till you're really like in them, and then you're like, how the fuck did I get in this? And I was not prepared for this.
Right.
But that's why I left the hip hop scene, and why I wasn't made for that scene. But I'll be straight up about it. That's like a real story. That's exactly how it went down. Knocked out of my fucking shoe, and he chased me around with my damn shoe, and I had to wait like 20 minutes to get it back.
Were you just running around the venue? Were you on the outside? Were you
Yeah,
on the
we were like,
inside?
so I was basically like kind of like running away and kind of calling him a bitch at the same time.
that's
When
not
you're
good.
loaded, yeah, it was not good, and just like,
You looking like the biggest bitch,
yeah,
and you're fucking
no,
like,
100%. Bro,
you're
but
such a pussy, bro. You
Yeah,
can't even
yeah.
catch me.
yeah, but no, this dude also, I want to say that this dude was like 6'5". He
Ooh.
was a giant.
Damn, and he
And
couldn't
was like,
catch you.
He was lit too. No, he could not catch. No, there's no way. I got that on him. If he wants to race, dog, you can catch the fade on the
I'm
race.
Morris, bro. I can duck into any crowd.
Yeah.
You're not gonna
Well, no,
recognize
it was
me.
so. This is after hours, and then you just buy pizza at the wheel. So there's like 5 people there, and it was just sad because I didn't even try and get into it with him. I was just like trying to break up a fight, and then I just happened to get yeeted out the door, out of my shoe.
Bro, that's so sick.
But I've definitely gotten to the point where I'd rather just not, because I walked outside of the Hawk one time with my DJ shit, and I saw this dude get laid out and hit his head on the like those parking things at the end of a parking stall.
Ooh.
I saw him get laid into that, and there was blood like everywhere, and then it was like a 5-on-5 fight down the road. It was like people, but it was when you're actually in those situations, it's very like, this is insane. Like, this dude might be dead. I was looking at this guy like just covered in blood, literally just got laid out with all of his body. Just it's not, yeah.
Speaking
After
of
a while, I don't like those
almost-
situations.
Speaking of almost dead people, didn't you save
There
a
we
life
go,
in high
Here we
school?
go. Yes.
How'd that go
I'll try and
down?
tell the whole story how it goes. So I was basically going. We were on a lunch break, so I was going to Taco Bell, and then I got some food, and I was returning.
At Free State.
Lunch
At Free
break
State, yeah.
From high school. Okay.
Yep. And then they have this kind of retention pond that basically it's like kind of like really deep in the middle, and then on the sides it's like 2 feet or like 3 feet or something. And there was this new kid at the school, and these people were just kind of daring him like to jump in. So like, bro, I'll give you fucking $20 if you jump in. So I literally just saw this dude just take like a nosedive like right off the top of this like 15-foot like thing into the water, and it was only like 2 feet deep. Oh. And then he just came up, and his whole head was like basically like cut open. So he's just gushing, and then you just see everybody that was there just leave. They just like scattered, like they didn't know anybody. They weren't trying to help him. Everybody just left. And then I was like, for a second there, I'm like, like how can we help? I don't want to. We get in there, and then he goes, and then he's like, I can't feel my legs. And then I was like, okay, now it's like, fuck, nobody else is doing it. I'm gonna try this. And in the moment, I wasn't really thinking like I'm gonna go fucking save this kid. I was just like, this is a retention pond. It's only like 2 feet deep. Like whatever, I'll fucking get in there. And then so he at this time had floated to the middle. So the retention pond, when you get there,
It was like 15 feet.
15, 20 feet, I can't touch. And I basically so I kind of get down to my boxers, and I swim out there. And right when I get to him, just throws me the fuck down. Like I couldn't.
Oh, dude, you gotta take some fucking lifeguard lessons. That's the
I
first
did.
thing you
so,
learn.
Yeah, so this is probably the most helpful thing ever. I was in fucking Boy Scouts. Fuck Boy Scouts. It wasn't the best thing ever, but
You get molested.
no, I did not get molested. There was a lot of just really cold campouts in like 30-degree weather, and you're like, why the fuck am I here? But
okay. Anyway.
yeah, so So I basically get to him. He pushes me down, and so I just kind of like hold on to him with one hand and kind of like go down and then push up for air, and then I go back down and push up for air, and I do that till I can get to like a certain spot, and then I know this literally sounds like some fake shit or whatever, but I was literally like, I probably have like 2 more breaths, or I'm like, I can't breathe anymore, like I'm done. And so I tried to go as low as I could. Like before I was kind of just dropping like a little bit and then just doing it as little as I could, but I tried to drop down as far as I could to touch the bottom, and I could barely like touch with my toes. So I was like, okay, one more. I get it, and then so I finally kind of get there, and then I start kind of dragging him out the water, and then he goes, "Where's my $20?"
Damn, he was just in
it was really
shock.
sad. Yeah, it was.
Did you think
it's
about
very
pushing
sad.
him back out to the middle?
No,
No,
it was just a really sad situation. He can't
What
take
happened
that,
to
he can't
him?
take that shit back. He's paralyzed from the neck down. He lost.
my-
He did lose his legs. Yeah, he is.
You said paralyzed from the neck down?
It's or however it was. I think it was like in his spine somewhere, so he can use his arms and like his head. And then
Okay.
right after that, it's
Fuck.
like
That's
Have
heavy,
you kept up
heavy.
with the story?
yeah.
Like,
So he
contact?
somehow was like, I don't know how the fuck somebody found me, but he was like, hey, like this kid fucking saved me. Can you like get him to the hospital? And so I was like one of the only people that was let in the hospital besides like family. I got to go there and see him, and he was like completely laid out with like a neck thing on, and just like it was just sad. It was just really sad that like, you know, don't ever try and impress anybody if it's like very, you know, like it's your life, you know.
Yeah,
I know if you're trying to make friends and you impress people, sometimes you get in shitty situations and shit happens. But all in all, like, don't listen to those fuckheads you met like an hour ago that are just like trying to see whatever.
Especially in
unless
high
it's worth,
school.
like $25. Then
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
for it, but otherwise, $20.
Yeah.
But
Get the
honestly,
fuck out.
no one in high school has your fucking best interest in heart.
Not
No,
one.
dude.
Not
Everyone.
one
There's
fucking
literally
person.
there's literally instigators that'll just be like, hey, he said this, and then you're like, okay, I'm gonna go beat his ass, or you know, whatever. And he didn't say anything. You know, that
Exactly.
person never said anything.
Don't
Yeah.
trust a
Everyone's
fucking
always
kid in
trying to
high
see
school.
something go down. Always.
Yeah. Was there any repercussions for like any of that shit? Did anyone get in trouble, or did the school just have like an announcement like, "Hey, don't fucking do this stupid shit"?
I don't. Oh, so now they have around that whole entire retention pond. Now they have like a fence, but they had kids. Kids were doing drugs out there every fucking day. I don't know how they waited this long. There was kids that would just be like, okay, we're just gonna go and like run off the bridge and jump in like in the ice, and it was like winter and just land and just and then they'd be like, bro, did you see this shit I did at like, you know, fucking lunch? And you're like, what the fuck are you doing? I don't know. I was right-minded, so yeah. What the fuck are you doing?
Freestyle sounds way more lit than I remember it sounding.
No, it's super whack. There's always like the druggy crowd or whoever, and I was probably more cool with those kids. I fucking hated a lot of the frat kids and got into it with a lot of them all the time. So, but that's more the crowd. Like that was the crowd, and I was kind of on the outside of that.
Do you feel like that's more of like a rich kid, poor kid thing than it is like a...
Yeah, no, 100%. I was always just raised, you know, poor, and like I went to Central and all the homies there. It was just, yeah, we never had any money growing up, so that was just, and then seeing those kids like fucking, I don't want to shout anybody out, but people's parents that like owned the Oriad, and they're rolling around with fucking, you know, they're driving up in a fucking BMW or something.
Not to name
And
drop,
I'm
but
like-
if you want
But
to...
if you
anyone out,
want to
like,
name drop,
one
go look
specific
him up.
person whose parents
Yeah,
own
If you
the
want to
Oriad.
Google,
yeah, that kid.
you can definitely find him. He's a fucking tool.
If you're in Lawrence, you know who I'm talking about. But just people like that, they're wearing fucking, you know, Sperry's with their North Face vest on, and you're like,
The fucking vineyard
fuck.
vines.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Fuck those tool bags. You know who you are.
And I also, yeah, when I was throughout high school, the whole time I was shopping at like Goodwill, Salvation Army, maybe Ross every now and then, maybe, you
Bro,
know.
I remember we would talk about the fucking come-ups we would get at fucking Arizona Trading Company. and
Oh
shit
yeah,
like
you know, just shit like that. Just until you get to the point where you have like a job, even if you're making fucking $7 an hour, you can buy your own clothes. You know,
Right.
that's the coolest thing ever. Being it, you know, saving up your money and buying some shit you like.
Yeah.
So, like, you love clothing. Have you ever thought about making your own clothing or making your own merch or anything like that for DJ Savage Habits?
Yeah,
Or
I
Savage Habits?
did one merch drop, and I think I'm gonna do another one here soon, because now like I'm doing the EDM shows and it's kind of working. But before, if you're just DJing like a club, it's not like those guys just kind of want to come and hear the music. They'll still support you and still come back to the gigs, but they're not trying to buy it. Like, I'm just a guy DJing other people's music, you know. Eventually, I'd like to get I really want to start producing soon. It's just a money thing. It's an expensive route.
So once you start producing and making your own shit, and you feel like you have something that you can really fucking promote that's yours, then you'll get to that lane.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
But yeah, it's people want to support you, and you need to have something for them to support. If you're like, hey, I made this mix, you'll have some homie support, but I can't go buy 500 t-shirts and try and sell them to 30 people.
Right.
I'd like to get it to that point where I can sell some stuff, and then that's also another cool source of income, and them supporting you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're supporting you.
Z-Dad, the Invisible Man.
he had to go pee.
I think he had to go take a piss, but he'll be back.
It happens. It happens.
Drinking too much of the beers.
Right.
Yeah.
So with your production company, do you have you and DJ Acrylic?
Yeah.
Do you have other people on the label or however you want to
like
call
a production
it?
company? Yeah. We're working right now. There's a couple people that have once you start doing good, they reach out really fast. So we've gotten 15 DMs or whatever. And then just other people, they want a cut, so they're like, hey, our production company, can we do a joint gig with you guys? And then we take turns, but
and you're like, fuck no.
Well, it's a sold out gig, so either way, what are you bringing to the table if we already sold it out? If there's if we go to the Granada and then it's a bigger venue and we have to get another production company, I'd love to work with the other production companies, but it's we're cutting half our money. We'd like you to bring something, to the.
Right.
If it's a sold out crowd, then it doesn't matter either way. But that's only a 200 person sold out crowd. If we're playing 1,000 person venue, we'd love to have another production company on board so we can split the pie.
So it's just you and
Acrylic.
him right now.
Yeah.
And you have plans on branching out, but of course it's just you don't want to split it too many ways before.
Yeah, once you keep splitting it, it keeps dwindling. Even if it's a third, you'd go from making say you're making $1,000, then it's already
you're
down
making
to 600. Yeah,
700.
So it keeps going down really fast once you start adding more people. But I would eventually like to hire. We did that show. I did the flyers, and then we hired a guy. We paid a guy hella just to do video, and then we paid Facebook just to promote it. So just in general, putting money into what the fuck you're doing, and then hopefully in turn it comes back. It's worked out so far for us, but not for everybody, obviously. But I think all in all, keep putting into what you're doing, and I think it will come back eventually.
Do you feel like promoting stuff on social media really does bump numbers that much?
I think
or it can bump
there's
numbers
a
that
side.
much.
I'm kind of mixed on it because I know if one of my homies or whatever, I'll post a homie's flyer from KC, maybe 100 people see it, but nobody really wants to they just saw it. It was just on the story. But
doesn't mean
also,
anyone's actually going to go to the show.
Yeah, but if you see 6 people post it on their stories and you give it to a bunch of people and then they're like, oh dude, this is going to be fucking awesome. Then they're all in, and then everybody does it. So if you do 6 people, then those people are it just kind of it's like a spider web. It just keeps going. If you get it to enough people, then I think it'll keep going.
Fucking everyone will screenshot.
Everyone wants to
post
go,
it.
yeah. But if you see one person be like, hey bro, come to this, whatever gig, nobody's gonna go unless a bunch of people want to be there.
Right.
So how do you feel that you've grown from your first set, if you can remember way back when? How much have you grown? Would you say in your words?
Well, my first actual DJ set, the next year, like I was talking about earlier, I DJ'd at a camp, and I was basically on a pair of turntables, and I was just kind of transitioning the songs, and I was basically just a crowd hype man. That was their job. That's what they wanted me to do. So I didn't really need to be DJing up there, just kind of getting the crowd pumped for the band. But just coming from that and not knowing how to beat match, how to scratch, how the network, and really just doing it I was just kind of up there, literally I could have probably done it on a phone and it would have been the same shit, but I wanted to look cool, so that's what it was. And then doing, just doing everything, to house parties, to whatever else. And then just eventually I did Quinn's. Some nights I'd be DJing there, there'd be 20 people there. Some nights there'd be 2 people sitting at the bar, and I just have to kind of get by. And then I got my hot gig, and I was DJing a bunch of people, and then I got the cave gig. So hopefully it just keeps on, and the EDM stuff. Now I'm doing sold out crowds. So hopefully it eventually just keep going.
So you mentioned scratching. Do you have to have records to scratch, or is there something that
It's a fine question. Yeah. If basically how even with vinyl, so basically they have a sound sample, and then you're basically chopping the sound sample with your left hand while you're moving it with your right and manipulating it. So through like my DJ, it's called a controller, but it's like every other fucking thing. But you basically put like, I have a track going, and then I have a sample going. It's like an audio sample. And then you can basically like kind of chop that up and change the sound of it and move it around. And that's usually, so one song's always going, and then you're manipulating whatever the fuck the sample is. If you're manipulating Cardi B singing a song and then dropping it in, and then you can hear that like scratching and then going into the song. Still has to match up with the BPM and everything, and you have to drop it in perfect. But yeah, it's just, but a lot of people don't think, they think that you're manipulating the track that's already playing. Mm-hmm. If that was happening, you wouldn't hear anything. Like, because you'd just be fucking with the track that's going. Right. You need to have like an instrumental going, and then you're manipulating just a random sound.
That's oh wow! It's literally the sound, the songs going underneath, and then you're playing nothing and scratching just the recording of the shit.
Or you can have like, you can play a song like you could play. I'm trying to think about one I play like a lot. Say I'm playing like A Ladies, and I'm playing that on like the left deck, and then I grab the gas pedal, and like that intro at the beginning, it has that bum 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 bum, and then you can scratch that and then drop it in, and then you can hear that going over the initial track. So it makes it pretty cool that like once you're in that and you kind of know that world and how that works, and then once you're at the clubs, you can start listening. And you can actually hear, like, when they start bringing in most of the other people, like, if you're in a crowd, most of those people have no fucking clue.
Yeah, you can't even tell.
But I'm like, okay, I know what's coming in, you know, and it's kind of annoying, like, if I'm just trying to drink, and then my ear just all of a sudden, I'm always fucking listening for, like, what the fuck's going on.
Right.
But it's cool, too, at the same time, like, I know what the fuck's happening.
So I'm sitting here on your Twitter, and your last tweet was,
I don't have a Twitter.
All lives matters, fuck Asians. So
I do not agree with any of these statements.
Do you agree with that?
I do not have a Twitter.
No, I'm joking.
He's finding these fake facts.
I think all this is gonna be cut out now.
Yeah.
I think before my question, it's all gonna be cut out. So
you're good.
That's just fuck around.
You got it. Yeah.
So we know he's not a racist. He's saved people's lives. He's not.
I'm like a decent human being.
Yeah,
you know, most of the time.
So
besides when I get knocked out of my shoes at like 2 a.m.
So you say
you're still a decent human being. You're trying to you break up a fight. I'd still say you're a decent.
I was trying.
You have good intentions.
Yeah,
so.
He just doesn't like Asian people.
I love all
and
Asian people.
So
all
weird.
Races. They're great.
I'm Filipino and I'm taking offense. So.
I was actually gonna ask a real question. So you grew up a poor kid. Like how
super
fucking
poor.
How much money those decks and all this shit is super expensive. How much money have you spent on like just show materials and? I just bought
a vinyl setup, which was like the most expensive purchase over my car.
You bought a fog machine a few years ago.
A fog machine, people don't know, fog machines are only like $50. But people and lasers. With our production company, we actually just bought like an $800 lighting setup. That's a full. It's like one bar, but it has like moving heads and lasers and power lights and a bunch of cool shit like that.
Is that mostly off of Amazon? Because I know Hastings used to have all that shit.
Yeah, you can. I think we got ours on eBay, but you can Amazon or you can go to like the actual websites. A lot of those actual websites, they put it through Amazon just so they have more. But you can look in like who's selling it, and it'll literally just be like the people who made it, like Chave DJ or fucking whatever.
Were you around for Hastings kind of setup?
Yeah.
Buy shit from Hastings kind of thing.
I wasn't around DJing, but I've seen like the Hastings, and I probably would have bought some shit from there. But all in all, I started out with like I think my first board was like $200, and then I had like a $600 board after that with like some cool screens, but the turntable, like the scratching parts were like this big. And then my last setup with the like case and everything was like a rack and a half, and then I bought a vinyl setup, which was that's like probably like almost $2,000. It's a very expensive world if you're not making on it like money on it. Like I was doing 3 gigs a week, so it was paying itself off really fast. Okay. But if you're not, now COVID hit. It's kind of like, you know, you only want to invest what you're getting back.
Hobby.
You know, yeah, it is. But if you're getting like. Well, it was a paid, you know, once it's a job, then it's different than just like you're not buying this shit. But I do think like people even look at you different. Like when I played a gig with the vinyl stuff, people have no fucking clue what's happening at all. But just because you have vinyl,
It looks more.
It looks
fucking
awesome. Yeah, they're like, oh my god, he's like a real DJ.
He's pulling
like,
out records.
The shit I was doing before that was, it was the same thing.
Damn.
People don't know about that.
So it's just a labor of love. You gotta working hard.
Yeah, a lot of money put in, but I made, I was making a living off of it for a while, so till COVID hit. Fuck COVID. I was literally about to quit my job and then go do that. And I think I also have an opportunity with a wedding company in KC. They pay a decent amount of money each gig because weddings are insanely fucking expensive.
Right.
Yeah. Some of those DJs get like $1,000 a gig just to DJ a wedding. Just insane.
It's ridiculous. Well, shit. I think
we're getting there.
I think we're fucking done.
Shit.
I think so. Everybody, look them up on the socials. Where can we find you?
Cardell Hart on Facebook, KARDALHART, and then on Instagram. Please go follow me. I'm trying to get them followers up. DJ Savage Habits, no spaces, nothing.
Yeah,
put like 1,000 versions of it here, Emilio. I'm gonna make you edit this really hard. Like DJ Savage Habits, everywhere.
You're gonna be looking crazy.
Yeah.
Does your production company have anything?
Yeah, we on Facebook it's Crowd Control Entertainment.
Crowd Control Entertainment. It'll be in the fucking description of this. Everybody look it up. It's been around the corner. I'm Ethan Doors.
See Daddy.
Savage fucking Habits.
Yeah.
We're out.
Thanks for having me.